The Now San Diego starts with breaking news.
Just into the newsroom, former NFL player Kellen Winslow Jr. rearrested on a new warrant. Good afternoon, I'm Kimberly Hunt. He was supposed to be arraigned today on burglary charges. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is live at the Vista Courthouse. Steve, what a bizarre twist.
It certainly is, and we are still trying to learn things this afternoon. We know he was arrested on a new warrant today, this afternoon, and is being booked right now into the Encinitas Sheriff's Substation. After that is all taken care of, he'll be transported down here to the Vista Jail, where he'll be booked in here. Now, charges, we don't know yet. The way this is handled is generally there are booking charges, which is an arrest. That's what happened last week when he was brought in on burglary charges because a neighbor said they saw him going into a mobile home in Encinitas on an afternoon last week and called the deputies. They picked him up and brought him in, but he quickly made bail and they got into an Uber and left the area here. Now, today he was supposed to appear in court for the arraignment on those burglary charges, but that was postponed for some reason. Well, part of the reason is the fact that he was back in custody up in Encinitas and will not be produced now until tomorrow. At that point, we will learn the new charges the DA has ready to file. There may be some other charges that we learn about, the preliminary charges that the sheriff's deputies arrested him on. We will stay on top of this and give you new information as it becomes available. Live in Vista, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.
An interesting case for so many people. Thank you, Steve. A brush fire quickly scorched 35 acres in Ramona. One home was damaged. Several were evacuated. 10 News reporter Matt Boone is live now near Highway 67, where he spoke to homeowners on the very edge of this fire.
Yeah, Kim, some scary moments out here for several dozen homeowners. Witnesses say they thought the fire started down by the highway. You can see all this charred black grass heading up to a row of homes. One home was damaged. It's that yellow home. Neighbors say that it is currently vacant, but part of the roof was singed, though others up here say fire is just a way of life.
When you live out here, you just have to be aware.
With her garden hose in hand,
It was right there, and so I was just hosing to keep it wet.
Jeannie James Moore decided to fight back.
This is kind of an open field, so I never thought it'd be, that big of a burn possibility, but apparently I was wrong.
The fire burned within feet of her property, protected by a thick dowsing of brightly colored fire retardant.
The roof, the cars, the truck needs to be hosed off.
CAL FIRE says about 150 firefighters were brought in. The wind was the biggest challenge. Jeannie and her neighbor Mary York watched as the flames weaved up the hill.
It kind of swapped directions, so one minute I thought it was going to go straight this way, and then it switched, and it went straight there.
There were some takeaways. Despite the large property, the grass had been well maintained.
We've been told in the past by the fire marshal that if it did burn, it's going to be a low fuel burn. So we never really did worry about it all that much until today.
But complacency can be dangerous too.
Thanks, guys. It's a vacant lot, but you never know.
And that wind out here, you can still hear it, certainly concern. I just got off the phone with CAL FIRE investigators. They still say that they're working on determining the origin and the exact cause of this fire. Reporting live in Ramona, Matt Boone, 10 News.
Thank you, Matt. We alerted you as soon as this fire started on our 10 News mobile app. And if you'd like up-to-the-minute updates, you can just download the 10 News mobile app in the App Store. Today's fire just reiterates the message from the County Fire Authority. This could be one of the worst fire seasons on record.
Right now, as soon as the days warm up and the fog left, we started going to fires every day, and that is concerning for me.
And the County Fire Authority celebrated its 10-year anniversary today. Since 2008, it has spent $460 million in firefighting and medical services. San Diego County also has more wildland firefighting resources than anywhere in the nation. The county fire chief asks San Diegans to complete 4 steps to stay safe this fire season. 1, post your address so first responders can find you. 2nd, create 100 feet of defensible space around your home. Next, have a personal escape plan and register for Alert San Diego. We posted that link on our 10 News website.
Now let's get to our lineup on this Thursday afternoon, and we have a new report just out about housing costs. Now, we know they're skyrocketing across the country. This is about affordability. We're going to dive into that. Also, do you notice anything different about this street? Well, it looks ordinary, but there's something unique about it, helping people in this neighborhood save money. Of course, Father's Day, that's on Sunday, and Target actually apologizing for one of its Father's Day cards, but they're not the only ones saying sorry. We're going to talk about that. And also in our lineup, we're looking at some of the most common disposable items that we waste money on. So what can we do about it? Well, you know we love saving you money here on The Now. We'll get into that. So much more ahead throughout the hour.
Who doesn't love to save money? Thank you, Chris. A Carnival cruise ship making an unexpected stop in San Diego. Tropical Storm Bud rerouting the ship from its original destination of Puerto Vallarta. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live at the port. And Anthony, a lot of upset passengers.
Well, you can see the Carnival cruise ship Splendor behind me. It got here this morning. It was going to Mexico, like you mentioned, but it was sidetracked because of Tropical Storm Bud. Now, in the meantime, Carnival says there's plenty of entertainment on board. They've given passengers extra credit so they can go into town and kill some time on this stop. Now, it's expected to head to Ensenada here tonight. Carnival says the ship won't make it to Cabo San Lucas and Puerto Vallarta because of the storm, but it's not going to interfere with the return schedule, though. The ship should be back in Long Beach on Saturday as planned. And as you mentioned, we did speak to a few passengers, and yes, they would much rather be on the trip that they did plan for, but at the same time, they say there are worse things than spending a day in San Diego. Reporting live, Anthony Pura, 10 News, back to you.
Let's turn to the Now news feed. A Department of Justice report out today criticizing fired FBI Director James Comey. It says he did not follow the right procedures handling Hillary Clinton's email investigation. They do say his actions were not out of political bias, though. Today, the Supreme Court rejecting a Minnesota law that banned political apparel at polls. Now, the justices say that it is still possible for states to restrict certain t-shirts and buttons, but they say Minnesota's law was just too specific. MMA fighter Conor McGregor back in court today. His lawyer's currently working on a plea deal over that backstage fight that he had in New York back in April. He's expected back in court again next month. Well, President Trump, he is slamming a new lawsuit against him, the suit by the New York Attorney General. It claims that the Trump Foundation illegally used the charity as a piggy bank, spending money to pay legal settlements related to his golf clubs, buying a painting of himself, and bolstering his political image with donations directed by his campaign staff. Now, the president says he's not going to settle this, and the foundation calls the suit, quote, politics at its very worst. And we are hearing more dramatic stories from parents being separated from their children right at the border. Immigration shelters across the country, they are now reaching capacity. The Now's Corey Rangel has a look at the ongoing fight and the new changes lawmakers want to make.
This is a look inside the largest immigration shelter for children brought to the U.S. illegally. Once an old Walmart, it is now home to nearly 1,500 boys ages 10 to 17. And the number of children keeps going up at this shelter and others across the country as the Trump administration's controversial zero-tolerance policy continues.
One of the women that I interviewed today told me that she was breastfeeding her daughter when the government took her daughter from her. And when she resisted, she said that was when they put handcuffs on her.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions has expressed sympathy towards families that are being split up, but defends the administration's policy.
Now we all know that many of those crossing the border illegally are leaving difficult, even dangerous conditions. And we understand that all are due proper respect in court and the proper legal process. But we cannot abandon legal discipline.
But some Republicans want to see changes to the policy.
We don't want kids to be separated from their parents. I think I just made that really clear. And we believe this will require legislative change.
Democrats have already introduced new legislation.
The bill ensures children may only be separated from their parents in the event they're being trafficked or abused by their parents.
Since the Trump administration began separating families, the number of children in federal custody has jumped more than 20% to more than 10,000, and shelters are nearly full. According to reports, the Trump administration is now looking at building tent cities at some military bases to handle the overflow of children. For The Now, I'm Corey Rangel.